spring. It's such a wonderful time of year. Everyone seems so happy and full of life.
End my suffering.
No! No!
End it all.
Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
Review me, please.
No!
Okay, let's just get to it.
SpongeBob SquarePants Truth or Square, the unofficial final part of the Heavy Iron trilogy of SpongeBob games, starting with Battle for Bikini Bottom, a beloved 3D platformer which has stood the test of time and become a classic in the eyes of many. The absolute star of the show, the Golden Boy. Then there's the movie game, also deeply loved and cherished by its fanbase. It's like that favourite cousin. It isn't as beloved as the Golden Boy, but everyone's happy when he shows up. And then this game. The weird uncle who lives several states away and definitely doesn't grow anything illegal in his backyard. Everyone's kind of pleased that he made the effort to drive all the way over here to see everyone, but no one really wants him to hang around for too long. He rarely pops up in conversations, so he just disappears into the fog of time. That's Truth or Square in many SpongeBob communities and also my own experiences with SpongeBob games. When you're talking SpongeBob games, you're talking about Creature from the Krusty Krab. You're talking about the movie game. You're talking about Battle for Bikini Bottom. These are legitimate games, not just licensed games. They are games and damn good ones at that. Alright, then you got the crappy ones. You got Hero Pants. You got Atlantis SquarePants. You got Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. I hate this game. And then you got Truth or Square, somewhere lost in the bargain bin. It's not good enough to be up there with the big boys, and it's not trash enough to be down here with Plankton's Robotic Revenge. So what is this game? What happened? How did Heavy Iron, the company everyone begs Nickelodeon to let them make another SpongeBob game, how'd they mess up this bad and end a wonderful trilogy and history of SpongeBob with this game? Let's just get started. Alright, I gotta pay respects to the game in some aspects. It is in no doubt, in my mind, the best looking SpongeBob game to ever exist. It looks so damn good. Alright, Nickelodeon Kart Racers, which was released a week ago, doesn't even look as good as this. And that game's on the PlayStation 4 for crying out loud. The particle effects, the lighting, oh, it's a nice looking game. When people say, I want a remaster for Battle for Bikini Bottom, this is basically what they want. It doesn't always look that great, but for the most part, Heavy Iron did a fantastic job in this department and should be commended. Now let's talk about the rest of the game. Now remember my movie game review when I talked about the criticism that that game got for its linear gameplay and how I defended it? I can't defend it here. The movie game was passable because it often allowed different routes or had larger, more open areas to explore with lots of secrets and hidden areas. This game is like,
I bet I can get more linear than that.
Like, what is Heavy Iron doing here? They make Battle for Bikini Bottom really big and open. Then like,
Reduce it!
They make it smaller and they make it more linear. Then they do it again. They make a linear platformer more linear. Like, how do you do that? And the fact that this game is as linear as humanly possible only helps to draw even more focus to the gameplay. It's like they took the gameplay from the first two and then put it in a cage. Everything feels slower. Your main attack takes forever. I feel like you walk slower. Everything feels slow and boring. Why every time I hit some guy, it plays this animation? Why when I slide on stuff, do I just slowly move through it rather than the speed you could achieve in the older games? Who thought this was a good idea? So the gameplay is slow, boring, and repetitive. The maps are linear, but hey, the graphics are nice.
What about the bosses? Don't worry, they screwed that up as well.
Now I'm not much of a boss battle type of guy. I didn't fancy the ones in Battle for Bikini Bottom, but they got the job done. These ones though, like, what? One is literally stolen from the other game as well. They're a complete joke and maintain the game's lack of momentum and speed. Everything is slow and sluggish. Now come on, there must be something else good to talk about with this game. Coming off Nickelodeon Kart Racers, I've been reminded of how important good voice acting and sound design is. And this game has that in spades. The sound work is so good. From the sounds of enemies to SpongeBob jumping, it all sounds as good as it did before. The comedy is also as good as the other games, which helps with the charm. Also, the way they set up levels through the story is extremely fun. It's a shame the soundtrack is more or less completely taken from the other games. I don't know if it's all taken from the original games or if there are some original tracks, but needless to say, I was disappointed by the soundtrack, especially compared to the other two games.
So here's my thoughts.
I don't know what was going on behind the scenes of this game. I don't know how much pressure they were under. I don't know what was going on. But I can say this. Heavy Iron loves the SpongeBob brand. They love it. I can tell through the writing, through the sound design, through the work put into the graphics, through the areas in gameplay where I can see they tried hard to make it good, even though they failed. I play a lot of SpongeBob games, and it's clear to see when it's made out of passion and when it's made solely as a cash grab. This game has more heart and soul than any game of this quality should have. It's not a good game. It's slow, boring, and frustrating. But you can tell the people making it can do better, and they have done better in the past. It's a disappointing closure to the trilogy that could have been fantastic. Here's to hoping they get to redeem themselves one day and show us all what they can do.
Thank you everyone for watching my review. This one's a lot longer than my normal reviews. Let me know if you prefer them to be shorter or you like them longer. I just had quite a bit to say about this game. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone with my more scathing points. Well, see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. Mwah!